What is up, guys? It is Joe from Justjoekingcomics, and we have a different kind of video.
Get out of here. Let me show you how a real man does an intro.
Okay. All right, the floor is yours. Have it. I'll get out of the way. That's right. Get out of the way, punk. This is no longer Just Joe King Show. This is your King Show, Just Joe King, telling you my story of my pro wrestling career. Stay tuned. Whoa, guys, sorry about that interruption. I think you just wanted to kick off the show. Thank you, Joe King. Welcome back, Comic Kingdom. Welcome to another episode of Just Joe King Comics. We're doing a little something different today, as Joe King said. We are giving you a story of my career in pro wrestling. A lot of you guys have been asking on Whatnot about my pro wrestling career. My coworker / cousin, non-local, kind of outed me that I used to be a professional wrestler, and they got a lot of people talking, asking questions. So, without further ado, here's the story. Right after high school, during my elementary school years, my middle school, all through high school, I never let go of the dream of wanting to be a pro wrestler. I loved it. You guys know back in the 90s and the early 2000s, wrestling was at an all-time high. Everybody was talking about it, and I never grew out of it. Never, ever, ever grew out of it. All through high school, I was always laser focused. I wanted to be a pro wrestler right after high school. It's exactly what I did. I got a part-time job. Basically, all that money paid for my pro wrestling training. I started training at a company called MWF in Toledo, Ohio, Millennial Pro Wrestling. MWF. Millennium Wrestling Federation. That's what it is. Been so long. So right after high school, I was laser focused once again, and I got a part-time job. That part-time job strictly went to pro wrestling school, the funds for it. A couple comic books here and there. Don't worry, guys. Yes, I bought some comic books. But I was fresh out of high school. Spent all my money on fast food, pro wrestling school, and comics. That was all my money that I went to. Me and my good friend, Rob, we went to pro wrestling school together. I got trained by Dick Nasty, Mr. Main Event, Crimson. Some of you might know. It was a very good experience. It was tough. It was a lot of... they really test you in your training days, in the stomping grounds days. I started off serving nachos to people before I was allowed to get on shows. Then I moved up to referee. And then after that, I started working like little squash matches. Squash matches, if you guys don't know, is I would basically get beat to make the bigger guy look even bigger, elevate their status. And then I ended up getting married and had kids, and I kind of stepped away from wrestling for some years. I want to say like 6 years I stepped away from wrestling. I went through a divorce after a while. So it must have been like 10 years then. Okay, so I guess I was away from wrestling for 10 years. I went through a divorce, and I am thankful that wrestling was there for me. Sounds weird, but it actually helped focus my mind elsewhere rather than sitting down and being depressed. I started working out. I got into some contacts with some old pro wrestling buddies, and I think my trainer, a new company opened up called WBW in Toledo, World Big Time Wrestling, and it was a hit. It was actually a very sought out place in Toledo area. A lot of wrestlers wanted to come wrestle there. I met a good friend named Dave, who goes by Mathias Thrasher. And him and I had chemistry right away. Well, maybe not right away. We worked out some kinks. I'll show you guys a little clips as I'm talking about some of our feuds. I started off as a heel. If you guys don't know what a heel means, that means I was the bad guy of the storylines. And Mathias Thrasher was the face, which was the good guy of the storylines. And people loved our feud. We battled it out. I ended up becoming champion. I faced somebody named Kast. I beat him for the television title. And that was a good feud as well. And Mathias Thrasher and I started battling it out, and people loved it. We had ladder matches, we had hardcore matches, we had regular matches. We had every kind of match. People couldn't get enough of the feud. It was a big success in my career and his career, I believe. I think it was some of the best matches I've ever had. Then people started enjoying me as a heel so much. People started enjoying my performances so much. I don't know if it was regardless if I was heel or not. But people started cheering for me after a while. And then Mathias, people were cheering for him. People were cheering for the heel. So the only natural thing to do is if a heel gets too popular, you end up cheering them face, which means turning me into a good guy. So we worked it out in a storyline. Mathias Thrasher and I battled it out to pillar to post, front to back, side to side. We battled it out everywhere. And finally we came to an agreement that maybe we're better off as a team. We became the tag team, the Boggling Kings. The Boggling Kings, if you guys don't know what a Boggling is, if some of you may know from Whatnot, it is a 90s, maybe he might get mad at me, it might be an 80s puppet doll that was really popular along with like Garbage Pail Kids and all that kind of stuff. Mad Balls. It was around that era, so Boggling Kings is what it was. We bring back some nostalgia. We wore the puppets on our hands. They were living, breathing things that were alive. They helped us in our matches. They were part of our finishing move. One of the highlights in our tag team was we were battling it out with the faction called the Rat Pack. The Rat Pack was always cheating. They were like the NWO of the WBW. They were a virus. They were a cancer to the WBW. And it was a good feud between us and them. And finally, we had some backstabbing happening. And we had a special guest that night show up, none other than Mick Foley. And we got backstabbed. Somebody betrayed us. And we started getting a beat down from the whole team. And Mick Foley's music hit, and the lights started playing. The crowd went nuts. Probably 1,000 people in the Toledo arena for that one. And as Mick Foley came out and started beating up the Rat Pack, I kind of looked over at him. I watched it all going down. I just got beaten up. I'm looking over at him, and I'm watching Mick Foley come down the ramp to come save me and my best friend. And I'm like, is this a dream? I was like, is this real? This is the most amazing thing. Mick Foley's coming to save me. And I feel like at that point I was like, man, I kind of made it. Like that's all I ever wanted was something like that to happen. I don't know. It just brought me back to my like high school days, watching Mick Foley make the save for people, or people make the save for Mick Foley, vice versa. And now I'm that guy. Mick Foley saved me. I don't mean to mark out. A lot of wrestling fans call that marking out, but that means just geeking out for nerds, I guess, in front of a celebrity. But it was a moment that I will always appreciate, and I will always never forget it. It was like living a dream. It was literally felt like a dream. I was like, am I dreaming? Like, wake up. Very cool moment in my career. He got to get in the ring with us. He told us to do our finishing move on the bad guy. It was pretty cool. So that was an awesome night, highlight of my career. After I had kids and I had a family to take care of, I never wanted to really become the big WWE superstar anymore. I was kind of just happy doing local shows, traveling around a bit. In that traveling, we came across, we kind of made both the best worlds for me. Comic book fandom, video game fandom, just a convention cosplay. So we ran into a group called Cosplay Pro Wrestling. And I was honored to play the role of Ryu, some of you might call him Ryu, from Street Fighter. Cosplay Pro Wrestling, man, I'll tell you what, you don't really have to work that hard because if people love the characters already, you're already loved. So it's like people know who to hate, they know who to love, they know all their moves, they know what they're known for, and I am very honored to be a part of Cosplay Pro Wrestling. Some of the best times in my life. It's the most fun. You can use superpowers. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just cartoons meets wrestling meets comic books. It sounds silly. It may sound silly to you guys. Doesn't matter. Some of the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Irish whip sends him across, reversal by Ryu. Picks him up. Oh! Now sent off, reversal by Sub-Zero now. Sub-Zero freezes the ground. Playing to the crowd here. That might be a fatal flaw, though. Asahi moonsault right into the front row. Ryu surviving. Ryu looks like he's frozen now. There's nothing he could do. As Sub-Zero takes to the sky, he's unfrozen! The uppercut to the jaw! Ryu! Another Hadouken! Could this be all? No, the referee's been frozen! It didn't count, it's for 3! A low blow by Sub-Zero! And the axe kick! Into the cover, 3! That's all! The referee counting to 3 there.
I got to face Sub-Zero, Mega Man. I got to face Link. Who else? I got to train Keith Apicary, kind of. I kind of showed him what to do. If you guys might know Keith Apicary from America's Got Talent. Very fun times there. I got to wrestle the Teen Titans as Ryu. So that was one of my favorite matches as well. That crowd, I think there was like 3,000 people in this convention center. It was all around. And I really felt like that was like our WrestleMania moment. My WrestleMania moment. It was so many people around. Unbelievable. It was an unbelievable experience once again. And believe it or not, like the biggest pop of the night was a magic chokeslam from Raven. Kind of did the magic, uses her telekinesis powers, and that popped the crowd like crazy, and it was deafeningly loud. The ring was shaking. I was like, oh my gosh, just something so simple as a superpower, just because people love these characters, it made people freak out like that. It was an awesome moment. Awesome moment. You would think the craziest move I've ever done would have got a pop like that. No, it was magic chokeslam. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Magic chokeslam!
Some more notable matches in my career. I was very blessed to go against a mentor of mine. He helped me, I feel, get better throughout my career. Shawn Blaze in WBW. He was the leader of the Rat Pack. He was the most hated person in WBW. People couldn't stand his face. They couldn't stand his sight. And he was very good at making people feel that way. He was a mentor of mine. I don't want to break kayfabe. You guys might know what kayfabe is if you're a wrestling fan. It's just kind of outing what the business is about. But he taught me a lot about just running a match, going with the flow, listening to the crowd. We put on some great matches. I was green in comparison to him. He has been doing this many more years than I have. We got to wrestle 2 ladder matches. I think tag team match against him, or he was always kind of been in the background. And then finally we wrestled a hardcore match where I finally won the title for WBW champion. Very honored and blessed to make champion in that company. That was very honorable for me. And again, Shawn Blaze, some of those matches were some of my favorite of all time. To show you guys plenty of clips out as I talk here about that. Very smart wrestler. He's very quick. He listens to the crowd. He calls it in the ring. Got me nervous like crazy. Called it in the ring. Like, ugh. I'm the kind of guy, I don't know if you guys heard like Macho Man. Like, I have to know every detail before I go out there. And he goes, we're going to be fine. He goes, we're going to be fine. It's, we're going to call it out in the ring. It's going to be a good match. I'm like, oh, okay. And we went out there 3 times for solo matches with him, and we just killed it. It was some of my favorite matches of all time. And I got I got the bad end of the 2 first matches. I got cheated. The referee didn't see me grab the title the first time. The second time, the referee turned on me. He ended up joining the Rat Pack, and right when I was about to win, he kind of dropped me through a table. And then finally, the 3rd time around, Joe King got the best of the Rat Pack and Shawn Blaze and won the championship. Awesome moment in my career. I got to hug my family. That was cool, celebrating with them. They were all super happy. And then my best friend, Mathias Thrasher, came to the middle of the ring, gave me a hug. We were both champions. He was television champion, which we kind of put that story together. So I was honored to have him holding that title. And then I became WBW champion, heavyweight champion. So that was a really cool moment to share that moment with him. Yeah. So those are the highlights of my career. I kind of ended up getting a concussion in my second to last match, and that really messed me up really bad. Then in WBW after that kind of closed down, unfortunately. Not happy with that. A lot of fans are still asking about it to come back to this day. I don't know if that will ever happen, but it was an awesome moment in Toledo, Ohio for pro wrestling. It was an awesome moment and a blessing to me in my wrestling career. Cosplay pro wrestling still going on, but I feel like I've been doing comics full time, so it's been a nice transition. I gained some weight. I've never been like the most thin wrestler, but I've gained some weight. I'm out of shape now. So will I ever do it again? Is kind of the question. I never really had a proper retirement match, and I always dreamed of either having Mathias Thrasher or a combination of Shawn Blaze and Mathias Thrasher to kind of retire me out. Will it ever happen again? Well, let's say never say never. I don't know. I know comic books keep me very, very busy, the most busy I've ever been. I would love to have my final, maybe one more run and then a retirement match. But if it never happens, I have the memories. I have the video footage, which you guys have seen. I'll always be able to have that and I'll always be able to keep it. Pretty small story. I never made it big to like WWE or any of that, but it was my WWE. It was my WrestleMania moments, and that's my story of my pro wrestling career. Hopefully I didn't yap on too much here and go round and round. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video footage. We're going to get back to comic books. I think Comic Tom is shipping here soon, so we're going to have an unboxing on that. Guys, follow me on Whatnot. Having always tons of fun doing the mystery... Oh, excuse me. Having tons of fun doing the mystery box auctions. We do, the new comic book day stuff and all that good stuff. I always appreciate the Comic Kingdom, as you guys kind of named yourself. That's very cool. Maybe we'll get some shirts made for that as well. All right, guys. Thank you again for listening to my story about my pro wrestling career. You guys can check out the videos. I'll post some links in the bottom as well if you guys want to watch the full matches and all that. Follow my Instagram, my whatnot. Like, subscribe, comment. What did you like to see in this video? What move did you like to see in this video? Whatever you guys want to ask me, whatever it is. I like to hear from you guys. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll catch you next time.